If you're like us, you've often shipped two characters from different worlds. So what if characters from the Disneyverse got together with characters from the Nickelodeon world? Here's our list of 10 Disney and Nickelodeon crossover couples we're totally shipping. Watch until the end for a ship that might very well blow your mind. Henri Danger and Andi Mack. When you think about it, it just makes sense. Andi is super smart, creative, and resourceful. She can make bracelets out of almost anything. Henri is a very expressive person. He has a lot of ambition, charm, and a way with the ladies. He would definitely sweep Andi off her feet if they were ever to meet. Andi can be kind of socially awkward, especially when she has a crush on someone. Combine that with Henri's natural goofy, cheesy side, and that would make for a downright adorkable couple. Both Andi and Henri are naive. They don't like it when people keep important secrets from them. So they would probably have a pretty open and honest relationship. Henri is courageous and clever, which goes perfectly with Andi's naturally curious, inquisitive style. Even though he can be kind of full of himself, Henri really cares about his friends and family, and he has saved a lot of lives. This makes him excellent boyfriend material for Andi. Andi is very trustworthy, so Henri will be able to tell her anything. He isn't very good at hiding his real feelings anyway. If he had a crush on Andi, she would probably know it immediately. It's no wonder fans are shipping these two. Nia and Nikki. Nia from the Disney show Raven's Home has a lot to offer. She's smart, logical, good at planning ahead, and has an eye for detail. Nikki from Nickelodeon's Nicky, Ricky, Dicky, and Don is the quietest and most well-mannered quad among his siblings. He loves to cook, so you know he can whip up a nice romantic picnic for Nia. Because he's a quadruplet, he has learned to go with the flow, but he has shown that he can be very mischievous if he has the opportunity. Nia would be a good balance for Nikki. She has a twin brother, so she can relate to Nikki's experience better than most. Granted, he has 3 siblings, whereas Nia only has 1. However, Nikki can certainly relate to Nia having a twin. While Nia's brother Booker and her mom Raven have psychic abilities, Nia relies on logic rather than her gut feelings. This could be a good thing for Nikki. She can remind him to think before he acts, which can help keep him to stay out of trouble. Nia tries to impress others by acting more mature than she actually is, but with Nikki, she would probably be comfortable being herself. These two would be a pretty cute couple, don't you think? Dicky and Frankie. We all know Frankie from the Disney show Bizaardvark. She loves to create songs and funny videos through the Voogle studio. She can be very pragmatic and sometimes even a bit cynical, but she can be very daring and bold. Image is important to Frankie, just like image is important to Dicky. Dicky is the third born of the quadruplets. Nicky, Ricky, Dicky, and Don. He considers himself to be a pretty cool and chill guy. He is known as the ladies' man of the group. He's easygoing and a bit dim-witted, but what he is lacking in common sense, he makes up for with charm and personality. He gets himself in trouble a lot, but always seems to be able to handle whatever comes his way. Frankie is a creative girl with a lot to offer. It would be interesting to see Dicky and Frankie together. Maybe Frankie would help Dicky get in touch with his creative side. He could even help her with her videos. She is a good friend, and let's face it, she's downright hilarious. She could give Dicky something to care about besides just his good looks. These two would make a very interesting match. Casey Cooper and Max Thunderman. You know that saying, opposites attract? Well, for this particular crossover couple, that statement couldn't be any more accurate. Casey Cooper from Disney's Casey Undercover is smart, witty, and very mature for her age. She is a black belt in martial arts. She's amazing at math and loves to play basketball. Max Thunderman from the Nickelodeon show The Thundermans may have a completely different background and different abilities, but these two actually have a lot in common. Max grew up in a family of superheroes, and Casey grew up in a family of spies. They both have to deal with the pressure of these secretive worlds, and they must prove themselves in order to follow the footsteps of their family members. Casey prefers to study over playing around. Max is very smart and has invented a lot of gadgets and potions in his villain lair. But where Casey works hard, Max has been known to be a bit of a slacker, yet he always seems to be one step ahead of everyone else. Still, Casey would be good for Max. She would be able to ground him and push him to live up to his full potential as a superhero. Dora and Kim. Whether they're in a romantic relationship or part of a friendly duo, we think live-action Dora the Explorer and live-action Kim Possible would make a fabulous team. Both of them have a flair for adventure. They aren't afraid of action-packed, high-stakes scenarios, and they both have upbeat attitudes. Dora loves the outdoors and exploring far-off lands, while Kim always goes where her next mission takes her. Dora and Kim both seem to have trouble fitting into high school life, but while Dora seems to be a lot more clumsy and sort of a don't-look-before-you-leap kind of gal, Kim carefully plans her strategy and implements skillful tactics to execute her plan of action. A perfect example is the one where Dora gets her backpack stuck in the door of the school bus, whereas Kim uses her grappling hook to catch up with the bus. Despite their differences, we could see these two teaming up for a jungle expedition. Dora can bring Diego, and Kim can bring Ron Stoppable. Anyone else think that they should make a movie that brings these two together? We'd pay to see that. Dora and Kim are two brave girls with great senses of humor and a love for excitement. It's a good combo. Kira and Jay. Jay from Disney's Descendants is the son of the villain Jafar from Aladdin. He is sneaky, handsome, and very sure of himself. He is on the fencing team at Ardon Prep, and he knows how to use a sword. Kira from Nickelodeon's Night Squad was born as a princess in Astoria, but she wants to be more than just a princess. She wants to become a knight so she can fight for her kingdom. She has to rebel against her dad to go to night school, and Jay can totally relate to wanting to break the mold. He did the same thing with his dad when he went to Ardon and decided to renounce his villain background. Kira knows something about trickery. Just like Jay, she had to use her magic ring to transform into Kira so no one would know that she's a princess. Jay is very playful and loves to kid around with his friends. He will surely be able to put a smile on Kira's face. They both know something about living in a kingdom that is ruled by kings and queens. They are good at fighting, and they both know what it's like to venture out from their parents' shadows. We think that makes them very compatible. Mal and Ark. If you think these two rebels would make a good match, we agree 100%. Mal from Disney's Descendants is the daughter of Maleficent. She gets an opportunity to get off the Isle of the Lost, where all the villains are exiled, so she can go to school at Ardon Prep. But her mother has other plans for her. Mal ultimately decided to rebel against her mother and her evil plans, so she can become good. Ark from Nickelodeon's Night Squad was born into a family with no royal ties or magic abilities, but when his land was taken over by Riker's army, he vowed to save his people by becoming a knight. He had to rebel against the norm in order to get into night school because he is not from the noble dragon blood heritage. So he adopts a secret identity in order to get into school. We think Mal's dragon background would be very attractive to Ark, and from Mal's time as the blonde-haired princess in Descendants 2, she can totally relate to the whole secret identity thing. But how would they be if they were together? Ark is very funny, nice, and smart, and Mal is very resourceful, caring, and strong. Both of them can be pretty mischievous, so we think that they would have a ton of fun together. Star Butterfly and Timmy Turner. Star Butterfly is an intergalactic princess in Disney's Star vs. the Forces of Evil. On her birthday, her mom gives her a royal magic wand, which she was definitely not responsible enough to handle. She winds up creating so much chaos and destruction, her parents send her away to Earth. There, she is learning how to use her magic safely. Timmy Turner is just your average kid that no one understands. He is neglected by his parents, so he winds up with two magical fairy godparents, Cosmo and Wanda. Timmy is kind of selfish sometimes and very arrogant. He makes a lot of irresponsible wishes, which his fairy godmothers must grant. While both Star and Timmy have the potential to cause a lot of chaos around them, they are very smart. They are both optimistic and love to have fun. Just imagine the shenanigans these two would get into if they were together. There's no telling what might happen. Timmy would have to get over his crush on Trixie first, though. We know that Star will want all of Timmy's attention. These two would probably have some very epic lovers' quarrels. They both can be pretty stubborn, but they would have wild adventures too. Phoebe and Carlos. Phoebe Thunderman from Nick's The Thundermans is an awesome superhero with powers that include telekinesis, heat breath, and freeze breath. She goes by the title Thunder Girl. Her family tree is gushing with super abilities. Carlos from Disney's Descendants comes from a family of evil villains, but since Phoebe's brother Max was a villain, she can totally relate to having an evil streak in her family. And that's not all Phoebe and Carlos have in common. She loves math and is highly intelligent. Carlos is a tech whiz. They would probably have a lot of nerdy stuff to talk about. Phoebe is usually very friendly unless you see her with her twin brother Max. Carlos can also be friendly unless he is amongst the other villains on the Isle. He had to teach Ben how to fit in with the villains on the Isle. Phoebe tries to live a regular life. She wants to have a social life. After being severely bullied when he was on the Isle, it's important to Carlos to develop real relationships. We think it would be fun for Carlos to see what Phoebe is capable of, and Carlos could make Phoebe very happy if she let him. Dawn and Jonah. Dawn Harper from Nickelodeon's Nicky, Ricky, Dicky, and Dawn is the oldest of her siblings by 4 seconds. She is charming, energetic, and always in charge. Jonah is the popular athletic guy from Disney's Andi Mack. He is also energetic and playful, making for an ideal match with Dawn. Jonah is a loyal friend to Andi. He is good at keeping secrets, as Andi well knows, but sometimes he can let his emotions get the best of him. This could be a problem with Dawn's tendency to be selfish and petty at times, while Jonah is a loyal friend friends. He can be indecisive when it comes to love. That would definitely frustrate Don. But if they could get past all of that, they would probably have a blast together. They both really like sports. We're pretty sure Dawn could outrun Jonah in a race if she wanted to. Dawn and Jonah have many things in common, but they also have their differences. So would it be a match made in heaven, or would this romance fizzle out before it even got off the ground? What do you think? Are you shipping a favorite Disney Nickelodeon crossover couple? If so, tell us all about your OTP in the comments below. Thanks for watching The Things. If you liked this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more videos like this one. See you next time!